Hey, it's Joey with Imzz Elite, and we're back in the shop. We're going to throw a carbon fiber T-Sport kit, one of our personal ones, on this 2020 Lowrider S, so let's get into it. Remove this boot right here. Once you get this boot pulled out, you can trace the headlight wire back. On this bike, he already has a LED headlight with the whole stock fairing removed. Kind of got a fairing delete going on right now. And his headlight was already spliced to run the plug from his stock headlight to an LED headlight. But if you don't want to do any splicing, just grab this guy. You can go to the dealer. If they have to order it for you, they will, but there's the part number. And with that, you can connect directly to this 3-pin Deutsch, and then it'll give you the 3-prong on the other end to go to an LED headlight. You don't have to do any soldering or anything. Now I got the headlight unplugged. We'll go ahead and get that removed. This is going to be the exact same, even though he doesn't have the stock setup. These are all factory hardware right here, so it's going to be the exact same. Take a 1/4 Allen. Pull that out. You see he's got our fairing delete plate with a factory Softail street bob headlight block that's just been modified to run on here. But if he's still got the stock setup, you're still running this cafe fairing, what you're going to want to do is take a T25. You can pull these 4 here, and you'll get access in here to what you need. And then you'll be able to come through and unplug the headlight wire. And then you can just pop the bottom half of this fairing out of these rubber grommets, and the whole fairing will come off. And then once you're at this point, you just loosen those 2 1/4 Allen bolts, and then you pop that whole little dog bone shape out of there, and you'll end up at where we're at now. Now, if you have a stock setup, when you get your headlight, you can take that whole factory bracket. You can pull these 4 bolts here, and you'll get this retainer off the back of the headlight. And then you can pop that inside of a Dyna bucket with the bezel and everything, and you'll have a setup like this in a bucket, because it has to be in a Dyna bucket to run that headlight with the fairing. And then on your stock setup, you'll need 2 9/16 socket or wrench to get this broken. This has got ARP hardware, so we'll get that off real quick and we'll keep going. Set that aside. The ARP set aside. Since he's running that fairing delete kit, we're just gonna go ahead and reuse it. Since on the stock setup, you got these 2 bungs that have to locate in the tree. So we have another specific one for the T-Sport that has the ears on it. But this one we're just gonna reuse since he's already got it. You gotta take your headlight block, and we're gonna bolt this on before we put it on the bike, because the bolt's gotta come up from the bottom side. Do is we will throw our adapter plate, put the bolt, slide it through, then it's gonna be with the gooseneck pointing down, just like that, to the front. Your guys' kit will come to you in the mail already pre-assembled, and you won't have so much bracketry. And then what's gonna make it easier, it'll come shipped to you like this with this bottom half already on here, but to make our lives easier, we're gonna remove this bottom plate real quick. Take our 2 Allen bolts that we pulled out already once before. Put a little double Loctite on there. Go ahead and get those started. We can just go ahead and tighten them down. Bolts loose a little bit. They don't need to come all the way out. You just want to make sure you have at least 1/8 of an inch above that washer. You're gonna have to slip the mount underneath there. Just take these 2 forks here. We're gonna pop those over the handlebar bolts. And you wanna make sure to keep the bottom side of these plates over the outside of these ears on here. Get the 2 bolts that we took out of the bottom off of those ears, we'll pop them back in. It'll all kind of hold itself, but don't walk away from it. Get those tightened up so at least the bottom's in place. You don't have to tighten them all the way, just get them past the nylock a little bit so you know it won't fall off. And now while we got the headlight out, we can still get our hand in here. We'll go ahead and tighten up those handlebar riser bolts. Loctite on our headlight bolt. We'll get that at least started in there. Nuts started on there, you can let it hang for a minute.
Now all I have to go through and just tighten up the 4 bolts that hold the side plates to your top and bottom plates.
Now we can get our headlight pushed up and tightened up. Don't say anything until the music stops. Last thing I want to do is just clean up this bezel because it's cocked a little bit. Headlight back in. Cleanly tuck everything back in the neck. Just like in the handlebar install video, you got your boot. Get all your wires back in the split in the boot. Trying to keep that boot from pushing back into that hole sometimes is a pain. You just got to work with it. Try to be patient. Boots back in. We'll give the headlight a test. Make sure everything's good and peel the plastic. Hi, baby. High beam's working, so we'll go ahead and get the plastic peeled. Throw the last 2 bolts. Normally when you guys get it in the mail, it's already gonna have all the hardware in it. We're just kind of taking this one a little bit at a time to keep the windshield from getting scratched. So we'll peel that, we'll get the last 2 bolts in, and we're ready to rip.